Okay. A very good afternoon, everyone. From Nigeria, it's 2:47, and it's my pleasure to be here with you on this live session. And we'll be talking about self-leadership. My name is Dr. Lynn Ujiagbe from Nigeria. But before we delve into the discussion, I would like to introduce the International Internship University. The International Internship University is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs globally. It is a trusted name for quality trainings, programs, and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all young people and all young learners all over the world. IIU is metamorphosing into the conventional education system by cutting down the additional cost and providing access to more than 1,000 courses and internships to their e-learners across the globe. With the help of its 1,000 global educators, in a short span of time, IIU spread its wings in over 195 countries under the strong leadership of its visionary founder. So that's it about the IIU, and it's a pleasure once again. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live, on Twitter, or on YouTube. So I will delve into self-leadership. So kindly join me as I share my slides. Okay. Oh, good. So I can move this over here. Yeah. So today we'll be talking about self-leadership. Leadership, as we all know, is about influence. Leadership is about making impact. Leadership is about um, helping people to aspire, inspiring people to do more. But what most people do not look at, or what most people do not pay attention to, is leading themselves. Are you self-aware? Do you have a self-identity? Can you lead yourself? Because leadership starts with self. One very prominent speaker said the hardest person to lead is yourself. So as a leader or an aspiring leader or as a human, it's good to self-examine yourself to be sure that you have those skills. You have self-awareness. You have, the drive from within. You have the mindset. You know you enough to lead other people. So today we'll be delving into self-leadership, and I'll just go right away. Self-leadership. This is a very important code that I think everybody can relate with. Be a great leader, but start by leading yourself. So everyone, whether you're a leader or not, it's always good to have that self-awareness. It's also always good to know yourself, know how to know what works for you, know how you relate with people, know your blind spot, know what is important for you to know about yourself. Then you'll be able to manage your emotions and manage the emotions of others around you. You'll be able to guide yourself and know what is good for you and what is not good for you. So as we go and delve into the study of self-leadership today, have an open mind and relax and enjoy. But most of all, remember to take something that you can put into practice. Remember to take something that would help you be more self-aware and will be able to lead yourself. There's this another amazing quote that said, leading yourself begins in managing your mindset. Do you know yourself? Can you manage your mindset? Do you know how your mind works? Do you know what makes you tick? Do you know your anger buttons? How can you manage your mindset if you do not know yourself? So these are one of the reasons why self-leadership is important. Because when you're self-aware, when you know yourself, when you can lead yourself, you can manage your mindset. You can know when to shelve your emotions. You can know when to let them slide. You can know how to react to things. You can have impulse control. And these are some of the reasons why self-leadership is important. What is self-leadership? Self-leadership is the ability to influence and direct your thoughts and actions to reach goals and build a satisfying and successful life. When you have self-leadership, You can direct your thoughts. Sometimes, I don't know if it happens to you, you wake up in the morning and you don't really feel like going to work, or you don't really feel like being with people. But if you're self-aware, or if you can lead yourself, or you have influence over your emotions, then you begin to self-regulate and say, oh, come on, it's something I need to do. I can run away from this. So I need to get up and get going. So when you have self-leadership, you are able to direct your thoughts to do those things that will make you productive, to achieve your goals, and to build a satisfying lifestyle with yourself and with people. You can be able to, chase your goals and do those things that will make you stand out in life. Self-leadership is actively developing a confident sense of who you are. Once I had a meeting with a few people, and it was an adult class with adults ranging from, say, maybe 20 to 28 or thereabouts, young people, but it's this class, mentorship class. And I just threw the question to the audience and I said, who are you? And one of these young people, he stood up and he said, I don't really know who I am. I'm still looking for myself. I'm finding my identity. I can't really say who I am. I have dual personality. I think I do several things that sometimes surprise me or amaze me. I don't think I know what I'm made of, or what my calling is, or where I'm headed. So that brought everybody to the realization that you can be an adult and you still do not know yourself. You can even be in your 40s and still may not know yourself. So it is always good to always re-examine, cross-examine your character, cross-examine your personality, to be sure that you know who you are, you can take ownership, and you know what you do, you're intentional about where you're going. Self-leadership means greater contribution, a greater impact, and greater levels of productivity. So if you can lead yourself, you're able to contribute. You live a happier life, because a lot of things will get you upset if you don't want to. People can just trick you any way they want, because someone said something, you get into a mood. No, if you know yourself, you know, man, she says I'm stupid, but I know I'm not stupid. So it doesn't affect who I am. It doesn't change my name. It doesn't change my identity. It doesn't affect me. So I am who I am. I know myself. So these are some things that we gain when we can lead ourselves. We have greater contributions to the society, to ourselves. We make greater impact. Our levels of productivity increases because we know how our body works. We know what is good for our personality. We know when to say no and when to say yes. So these are the gains of self-leadership. So there are 4 important pillars of self-leadership. First, self-discovery. The second, self-acceptance. You must accept yourself. You must be confident enough to accept yourself. You look in the mirror, you see who you are, and you accept who you are as who you are. Self-management, you can manage your emotions, you have control of your emotions, you are self-aware, you have self-regulation, you have emotional intelligence, and self-growth. One very important pillar of self-leadership is self-growth. How you can grow yourself, how you can set goals and achieve them, how you have somewhere you're headed in life, how you realize your purpose in life, and how to work around it to achieve it. So these are some of the 4 important pillars of self-leadership. You have to go on a journey of self-discovery. What makes me happy? What makes me sad? What kind of people am I attracted to? What kind of job do I love doing? What are my hobbies? Right? What things do I love to do? How do I unwind? How do I relax? What do I tell myself in my inner man? How do I react to people? Am I an introvert? Am I an extrovert? What is my personality like? Who am I? What am I? Where am I heading? What is my purpose in this life? What is my vision? What is my mantra as a human? So you must discover yourself. And when you do, when you've gone on this journey to know who you are, you begin to accept yourself for who you are. So you have self-esteem. People don't talk you down. People don't make you uncomfortable because you are confident in your own skin. You can manage your emotions. You know when to react and when to let things slide. You do the right things at the right time. You have self-control. You know, the thing about self-management is if you do not have a good grasp of self-management, you can run into problems because you have a lot of regrets. Oh, I'm so sorry I reacted that way. It's not me. That was not me. Then you're not self-aware enough to manage yourself or manage your emotions. So as a human, as a leader, as someone that aspires for greatness, you must be able to manage yourself, manage your emotions as you discover your inner self and who you are. Okay, so that is it. Self-growth is another important aspect. I've said it before. For you to grow yourself, you have to discover yourself. For you to grow yourself, you have to be able to accept yourself for who you are and accept your life journey. For you to grow yourself, you have to learn how to manage yourself. We'll move to this slide. This slide is very important because it talks about the basic things that self-leadership can help you do. If you have self-leadership, you become responsible enough to be self-aware. You become responsible enough to self-regulate. You make choices that make you to motivate yourself. And then you are able to discover your potential, who you are, and where your life journey is taking you. You're able to know your strengths, your weaknesses, right? And you're able to work with your strength while you improve on yourself to diminish your weaknesses. So self-leadership is very important, not just for leaders, but for everybody to know yourself, be self-aware, and know how to self-regulate. Because when you self-regulate, you have impulse control. And when you have impulse control, you begin to build your emotional confidence and your emotional intelligence. You know how to deal with people, you know how to work with people, and then makes you more productive because you can self-motivate. You do not depend on extrinsic motivation, but you have intrinsic motivation because you know who you are, you know what you want out of life, and you begin to develop yourself in that regard. Let me tell you a story about self-regulation. This happened a long time ago, but it's quite an interesting story. A lady was driving in traffic and then she mistook, I think there was a traffic jam or something, and then someone mistakenly hit her car and she was so upset. She was so upset that she left the queue and the traffic and she began to chase this man. While she was chasing, she hit another car, she bashed the front of her car, and she scattered the front of her car and the back bonnet of another car. Now that can happen to anyone, right? But what do you think happened to that woman at that time when she started chasing that person? It was just a scratch on her car. So there are two things. You're already in traffic. You know, there are certain things that are within our control and there are things that are without our control. In fact, studies have shown that the things that happen to us is based on our reaction to things. So at that point in time, when she started chasing that man uncontrollably, because she did it uncontrollably, so she did even worse than he did by hitting other people, damaging her car further, and even getting into more trouble with other people. It's self-regulation, self-control, impulse control. You know, you've seen two people, and you know, if you've spoken or spoken to someone that had been in jail or had been in some kind of problem, and you ask them what happened at that time, why did you hit him? I don't even know what came over me. I don't know what I was thinking about. I didn't even know why I did that. Why did they do that? They have not been able to self-regulate. You know, if you have regulation, you'll be able to control your impulses, so you're not always regretful of what you do. So this is very important for self-leadership. 12 signs of lack of self-leadership. It is so obvious that someone lacks self-leadership when they lack self-control. We've talked about that. Secondly, overly self-centered. People that lack self-leadership, they're always thinking about themselves. They think about other people at the end, not always at the beginning of their thoughts. It's good to prioritize yourself. Nobody says that you shouldn't. But in as much as you prioritize yourself, also remember that you should also put into the picture the people around you, your team, your family, the people that make things work with you. So people that are self-centered may lack some level of self-leadership. Number 3, lack of emotional intelligence. I've talked about that before. Emotional intelligence is the way you regulate your emotions and also the way you see the emotions of others and they help yourself to be a better person by managing yourself and managing others. Number four, unnecessary superiority, arrogance or aggressiveness. So people who lack self-leadership they all sometimes feel too superior over other people. That doesn't make you a leader or a better person. Humility is key, and humility comes with emotional intelligence. So people who lack emotional intelligence can go off-board, trying to be, arrogant, trying to be aggressive to their colleagues or their lower colleagues or their subordinates or people around them. It also works on the flip side. Some people that lack self-leadership can also have lack of self-esteem, right? They are scared of people, they feel inferior. So it's on the flip side of the coin as well. So it's either you're too superior, you're arrogant or aggressive, or you are timid, you lack self-confidence, and you feel inferior. So these are signs that show that a person lacks self-leadership. Number five, always setting boundaries and protective of one's territory. So if you lack self-leadership, there's a high chance that you think people are always, after you. People are trying to get into your skin. People are trying to overtake you in your journey. People are competing with you. Sometimes people don't even care. They are just happy that you're making your giant strides and maybe they're even inspiring them. But when you lack self-leadership, you think that everything is a war. So this can be a mindset problem, or this can be a character defect if you lack self-leadership. Now, setting boundaries is also very good, but if it's extreme, then there's a problem. You need to self-examine your personality. People who lack self-leadership also are highly judgmental. They're highly critics. They criticize everything. Everything is wrong except their way. It's always their way or the highway. That is not a good sign of a leader. That is not a good sign of someone that has emotional intelligence. Because if you have emotional intelligence, you should know that you're not always correct. You're not always the best. You're not always, right. So that's the issue with people who lack self-leadership. They feel insecure. They always feel people that okay. So sorry about that technical glitch. I think I will need to share my screen again one more time. Okay, so we're back again, everyone. So sorry. I would need to go to slideshow to be able to continue my presentation. All right. So we're back again. Thank you so much for your understanding. So the last slide was about the signs that show the lack of self-leadership, right? So we talked about being the smartest person in the room, perfection at any cost, lacking some how to talk to people, how to be people who lack courtesy. Definitely lack a good mindset because in your heart of hearts, You may think that you're okay the way you are. You'll just be in your comfort zone and you'll not plan to aspire to be better than you are. So these are 7 important um, areas of self-leadership. Self-discovery, we've talked about that before. You learn how to discover yourself. You try to discover yourself, know who you are, where you're headed. Self-identity, self-development, self-direction, self-awareness, self-talk. What do you tell yourself? What do you speak to yourself? What affirmations do you take? What do you tell yourself when you're discouraged? You know, I was talking to someone a few days ago, and I was like trying to encourage her to not to give up, to be positive, to be optimistic and all of that. And I told her that the way it works for me, and I would like her to do the same, is I forecast and foresee what I want in my life, and I begin to work towards them. So I am happy, excited. I look forward to possibilities, not because I see them happening already, but I have that belief. So I talk to myself about my progress. I talk to myself about my growth. I talk to myself about my accomplishments and my achievements. I forecast. So instead of thinking about things I can't control, oh, why is it gonna happen? How am I gonna get this? How am I gonna do? Yeah, blah, 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 yap. No. So I channel that energy to more positive energy by telling myself that it is going to be possible. Everything is working for me. I'll keep pushing on. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I can do this. Lynn, you can do this and all that. So your self-talk is very important. Your self-talk will also build your self-esteem. Your self-talk will build your positivity. Your self-talk will help your self-growth. And that can eventually metamorphose your self-mastery. Because when you talk to yourself, you're the only person that knows the language that your body, your mind understands. So begin to talk to yourself positively enough to be able to master yourself. So let's look at this and then take them one at a time. And this says self-worth. Valuing yourself means you will value others. So you can't give what you don't have. A speaker once said that whatever you see people do now, people, they don't change because of where they are or what happened. How do I put it now? Change is the constant thing, but change also reveals the character of people and who they really are. So people who value themselves will be able to value others. People who are hurt will definitely want to hurt others. People who are depressed may not see ways to cheer others up or brighten others or add some value to others. So you must first of all value yourself. My mantra has always been value myself, add value to others. Value myself so I will be valued, then I can now transfer value to others. So before you'll be able to value others, you must first value yourself. You must have confidence in yourself. You must know your personal journey. You must have your personal story. So these are things that will push you to have self-worth. People who have self-worth, they value themselves intensively, and then they create value and extend that value to others. 2, self-knowledge. Knowing yourself helps you to chart a life path that is meaningful and fulfilling. Self-governance. When an individual can self-manage, they don't need others to do it for them. They're not always, maybe, no, I don't know, maybe I can't. What do you think? You ask 10 people what they think, and you are now confused on what exactly you should do. But when you have self-governance, it's good to ask for other people's opinion, but you also have control about exactly what you want to do. Some people come to you for advice, but they really just want to hear themselves, so they have a deeper understanding about what they want to do. So it is not even compulsory that they may take your advice or take your opinion or do anything with it. However, someone who has self-governance will be able to manage that data gotten from others to the best of his advantage, because the person can govern himself and his emotions. Number 4 is a global understanding. So develop a deeper understanding of the leading ideas and best practices related to the freedom at work and in the world. So if you are self-aware, you develop some understanding of basic things in your sphere of work, in your sphere of influence with the people around you, in a way that it makes you growth focused, it makes you growth oriented, it makes you a leader, it makes you stand out wherever you find yourself. Someone who has self-leadership is freedom-centered, has freedom-centered leadership. It's about humble service to others and not self-ego, right? So when you're self-aware, when you have self-worth, when you have self-knowledge, when you have self-governance, when you have global understanding, you begin to see yourself as someone that can give service to others. So it's very important that you pay attention to how your mind works, what your personality demands from the world, and what the world demands from your personality. Very key. So this is something that I also want us to look at. So as we look at it together, also take down notes of how you can apply this in your life, how you can expand this, stretch this to include those areas in your life that you need to cross-examine. Knowing who you are, what you believe in, what is your belief? There's a quote that says that anyone who stands for nothing falls for everything. So as a human, you must have something you believe in. You must have a stand in every matter. What's important to you? What are your goals? What are aspirations? Where are you focused on? Where are you going to? So these are questions you ask yourself. These are questions you need to take time out to write them down and really look at it. If I'm asked, what is my mission? What is my mission in life? What's my vision for my future? What do I want out of life? Why am I here on the planet? You should be able to say it when you have self-leadership. This next column says, know what you do. What are your behaviors? What are the triggers? What are those things that get you worked up, get you upset? How do you manage your emotions when you get angry? Do you walk away? Do you count to two? Do you take a 5-second break? Do you count to 50 or count to 10? You know, how do you react in a state of anger or when your emotions get worked up? What motivates you? How do you self-motivate yourself? How do you have that self-drive that regardless of what you see, regardless of the naysayers, regardless of the obstacles you meet, regardless of what you see or anything that, you know, makes you feel less of what you want to do, you still keep pushing on. So you have to know what you do and know how you react and know what makes you do what you do. The third column says, know what you need to learn. Identify learning points. You know, every one of us should be lifelong learners. But even as we're lifelong learners, there should be focus in your learning. What do you need to learn to build relationships? What financial lessons do you need to take? What lessons do you need to take in your career path? What lessons do you need, or what areas do you need to develop as regards your health? You know, you need to prioritize your learning, right? What is your personal development plan each year? How do you work around it to evolve over time and then cover all the areas of your life, your finances, your family, your relationships, your job, your career, your hobbies, your health? So you must know what you need to learn and prioritize them based on your need for growth. Setting up a learning plan. Someone who is self-aware and has self-leadership must have a learning plan at all times. How do you break it down? What are your measurables? How do you measure them, right? Are there taglines to their achievements? What are you going to act upon? What are you going to change? What are you going to continue doing, right? What are you going to transfer to somebody else to learn? So you must set up a learning plan using what you know. So after getting all of this knowledge, after observing and cross-examining your character and all of that, what do you do with it? Building successful habits to support the pillars, creating an environment for success. So when you've learned about yourself, you've known where you're going, you know what you need to do together, you know the lessons you need to take to grow yourself, how are you going to implement it? So these are very important questions we should ask ourselves. So this slide says, leading yourself before leading others. For those of us that are leaders, I've said it before, leading yourself is much more difficult than leading others. It's easy for you to talk about what other people should do and shouldn't do. But what about you? What are you doing about the areas you need to grow? What are you doing about those parts of you that people do not know? I don't know if anyone knows the Johari window. You have your blind spots. The part of you that you know and other people do not know. Then you also have on the other quadrant, the part of you that you know and other people know. Then you also have the part of you that other people know about you, but you do not know about yourself. And then you have that part of you that people don't know about you, and then even you do not know about yourself. So the Johari window is very important. You can go read it up. You can go study it. It helps to build your self-leadership skills. Because the Johari window helps you to know that, hey, come on. When I'm with people, this is me, but this is not really me. There are certain things that these people do not know about me. It also helps you accept that there are certain things about you that you do not know, but other people see you do it. And then if you're not open to objective criticism, if you're not open to opinion or people telling you that, okay, you need to adjust this behavior, you need to change in this area, you just keep moving like that without knowing that you have a deficiency in your personality. So if you're open to your colleagues, your team, your friends, your family, they are free to tell you, oh, sister or brother, this part of you, I think you need to work on it. Sometimes maybe you yell too much. Sometimes you cannot control your emotion. Sometimes you criticize too much. So you need to work on it. And sometimes when they tell you this thing, you realize that you didn't even know about it yourself. Then there's also that part of you that they do not know, but you know that you do these things, right? So that is that part of you that you need to work on, so that whenever you are faced in a situation, you are who you are, you will not be someone else. And of course, there's that part of you that you do not know about yourself, people do not know about you. Let me give an example. There are people that were not in leadership, and then they get the opportunity to get into leadership. Guess what happens to them? People begin to see some part of them that wasn't there before. And they are also shocked at the change, the transformation in their lives. They begin to do certain things that they wouldn't have accepted to do before. And people begin to see another part of them. That is that area that was blind to them and blind to others. So we have to cross-examine ourselves so that before we lead others, we have to lead ourselves first. So these are some areas of self-leadership I would really talk about. I think there should be one more. Okay, there's a list somewhere, but I think these are basic points we need to look at. So for self-leadership skills, you have to, develop decision-making skills. You have to develop accountability. You have to develop self-regulation, energy generation. What most people think of as motivation is simply an abundance of energy pushing in a given direction. Self-leadership requires you to generate energy and then keep it flowing. Starting from a dead stop requires a big push, but you will remain motivated and energized if you keep the motion going once you push off. Clear communication. So this is a very vital self-leadership skill. So self-leadership requires you to communicate with yourself and others, learning to speak to yourself with just as much respect and love as you speak to others will take you a long way towards self-mastery and success. So there are certain areas of skills, or there are certain other skills for self-leadership that we must also develop over time. Self-awareness, we've talked about that a whole lot. Motivation, decision-making, dedication. Be dedicated to that thing which you want to do, right? Be consistent in your character. Be consistent in your joy. Be consistent with your growth. Be consistent with your goals. Influence. Learn to be influential, learn to be impactful, learn to be inspirational. Then we know that you have really, you really come up to speed with your self-leadership skills. Empathy. People who have self-leadership skills, people who can lead themselves, people who are self-aware, know how to be empathic. They're humble enough to feel how other people feel and then, manage their emotions to meet that person at that point of need. They know how to, manage the way they think, the way they feel, the words they say, how they say it to other people, and how to manage their own emotions and their own feelings to be able to be empathic to others. Social skills, self-regulation, accountability. So these are self-leadership skills that we should develop and to become better leaders and better individuals. So first, lead yourself. From there, you can grow to lead others. First, lead yourself. If you cannot lead yourself, there'll be roadblocks. Of course, in every leadership journey, there are roadblocks. But it becomes worse if you do not know yourself. You become argumentative, you become an extreme critic, you find fault with others, but there's a lot you need to correct about yourself. And do not be a person that is always about the bad. you're always about the bad. There's some people, you see their posts, you see their status, the things they put up is always about how bad people are. Come on, you need to examine your emotions. There's something lacking. Because if everybody is bad, everybody is doing bad things, you're the good one, then check yourself. I'm not saying you're not a good person. You may be a good person, but there's a gap in your emotion. There's a gap in your personality that needs to be filled. So you need to cross-examine you need to be self-aware enough not to put yourself out there in the negative. Criticism is good. Criticism has helped every one of us, right? Pinpointing the bad things in society is a good thing. But if your mantra or your vision is just to put out bad stuff about how bad people are to you, especially, not even like general things or generic things like government and all that. It's always about how people are against you, how people want your downfall. Then you have not been able to lead yourself, because that should not be your focus. Your focus should be good, a good mindset. Your focus should be positivity. Your focus should be how to reach out to how to be a better person, how to be visionary. So first lead yourself. From there, you can lead others. From there, you can grow yourself. You can nurture your thoughts. You can nurture your ambitions to grow others. So your self-leadership journey, it doesn't just happen. The Lynn you see here today may not have been the Lynn 10 years ago. So when you begin to develop or go on a journey of self-awareness, you have to practice, practice, practice. Like, okay, there was one time in my life, I always say, being the last child in the large family, I was really given a lot of attention. So I could be pretty emotional growing up, right? Not like attention-seeking emotional, but every little thing can make me become very, mushy, mushy, right? But if you have to take the position of leadership, you have to take tough decisions, you have to follow policy, you have to do a whole lot of things that need you to practice to give off that being too overly emotional. So you have to practice anything you want to see. You have to practice it. Anger management skills, I don't really have that as a problem. But if I'm confronted with a problem, like I know that this can make me flee, I take a break, a mental break. I can distract myself. So can you give me 5 minutes? We can talk about this in 5 minutes. Because I need to cool off and I need to think of the right thing to say. I need to think of the way forward. I need to embrace a solution-based or solution-oriented response. So for that reason, I need to practice to just take some time off, maybe count to 5 or 20, calm down, then think of my response. It takes a whole lot to discipline yourself, right? So for you to go on this journey on self-leadership, you need to practice, you need to develop a plan, you have to have goal setting and a goal plan and goal setting mechanisms and strategies. You need to work on self-discovery. But remember, it starts from the bottom to the top. Discover yourself, set goals to meet up these things that you need to catch up with in your life or your personality, develop a plan to make it work, and then practice, practice, practice. So I think I'll draw the curtain here. I hope you've learned one or two things from this talk. I want to say a big thank you to IU, World's First International Internship University, for giving this platform to talk about self-leadership. I'm so grateful for this privilege to speak. I think this is my third or my fourth time on the show. And I want to thank all our viewers and all those who were able to join the conversation. Thank you so much. And again, my name is Dr. Lynn Ujiagbe. I'm the founder of the Lenzone Foundation and the Lenzone Leadership Network from Nigeria. I'm an author, I'm an educator, I'm a public speaker, an inspirational coach, a human resource enthusiast, and a whole lot more. So it's a pleasure to have you today. Thank you so much. Thank you for being amazing. Keep working on yourself. Keep working on your growth plan. Keep being the best person that you are. Remember, you need to add value yourself, then you can add value to others. Thank you so much for your time. Have a fantastic day ahead, and bye for now.